Well, hello. Welcome to a bonus stream. I wasn't exactly as exhausted as I thought I would be from the weekend, but I decided to do a stream and finish up the last of a series of miniatures and get them done and knocked on the head. So, let's just bring up the correct scene. Hello everybody, there's good old Seribot. Faithful bot to many streamers. Thank you to Seri's creator. We should be able to stream safely whilst we get things on the road. Now I do apologise in advance that I may have to mute temporarily and do BRBs across the course of the stream today. I am a little unwell. Unfortunately, the old Tommy is a little bit upset today. Can't really do much about that except let nature take its course, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's been a bit of a frustrating day because I'm also suffering from pretty bad headaches due to some new medication. I'm also under a little bit of pressure from completing write-ups on some assignments, which is adding a little bit of pressure. I have about 3 weeks left to sort that out because I want to hand in a week ahead of time. And also there may be a cancelled stream in the future. I'll need to check my dates, but I will be cat sitting for a lovely little kitty that I've known for many years now. Her name is Tabitha. Unfortunately she is completely deaf, but she still shows a lot of love and affection to those who look after her. And so we're kind of good buddies now, so we're looking forward to that in a few weeks' time. It'll be a nice reward for the end of the first major pieces of work within my college studies. So, I think what we'll do is we'll hop over to the just painting scene. And there we go. Now, I haven't got to show this off before, but I changed the camera on the bottom left there. It's actually an old iPhone that I have rigged in. I'm just moving a light source out the way. And it's got much more detail to it. So I bring that zombie up front, and then I can use my new software to kind of have the phone focus in on him. And we've got some nice detail on that particular zombie. Now, there's not too much detail on all these particular zombies, which does mean they are going to be fairly quick paints. And the idea here is tonight I want to finish all 14 of these zombies to a reasonable level, so that way I can look at getting basing done and perhaps knocking it on the head altogether. These zombies, I came into possession of them when I bought Timber Peak, the final expansion for Last Night on Earth that I needed. In terms of the major game expansions, it was a standalone edition, so basically I got a set of zombies with them. So I'm going to paint these up and keep them very handy. Oh, what's going on with the paint palette there? That's from a little earlier in the week. It looks like the colours melted together. I must have bashed the palette or something. That looks like some interesting combinations for colours there. Kind of almost like blood veins there. Interesting. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to turn the palette around so I've got a bit of a blank palette. There we go. And we're going to make a start on getting the skin colour on all of these. So I'm going to just try and do a bit of a speed paint job here and get cracking. Just flick bottles of paint over and all that. Just get some of these out of the way because I don't need all of these at the moment. Some colours that I've selected already for use for creating the little groupings of zombies, because they can, with Last Night on Earth, you can have 2 players controlling the zombies, and I like to have 2 different colours of zombies, paint them up into different little teams, you know. So I'm going with Witch Brew from the Army Painter for the skin. How do I want to do this? Do I want to use a dry brush or something? What kind of brush do I got here? No, they're a bit too thick. Come on. No, too much. You're not quite right. Oh, the agonies of picking a brush, eh? Oh, hang on. That one's, I think that's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, it is. There we go. So, I'm going to paint Witch Brew across all 14 zombies. I'm going to start from the skin layer. Now these guys have all got bare feet, so no shoes to paint on these. And we're just going to make a start. So here we go. Hope everybody's doing alright. Hopefully a little bit better than myself, because as I say, I've had a bit of an upset tongue. Yeah, you got skin showing on the chest there, so just using a brush like this will quickly get the skin done across all 14, and I'll just paint over the Witch Brew when I come to do the jacket and trousers. Because we want to get these guys done fairly quick. In case you're wondering, the brush I'm using is actually cheap makeup brush that I've secured from one of these pound stores. You probably call them dollar stores and whatever. So there you go, just one of those. Just a cheap makeup brush, probably picking up for about £1.50, £2 at most. You can see how quickly I'm just getting a large lot done. Oh, I've got a head start on one of the miniatures now. Wasn't watching where I was putting my brush. Okay, so I'll grab you next. I'll get you done since I've got a little splodge on you already. By the way, apologies if I keep knocking the camera around. I'm not accustomed to painting with a mobile phone being used as an artificial camera as such. I will get used to it as time goes on, but for now you'll just have to accept my apologies. The stand is not very good, in all honesty. It broke as soon as I extended the telescopic length of it. I would return it, but I would have returned it, but yeah, a little bit too busy, and secondly, I really cannot be bothered with returning something like this, because I did get it dirt cheap. He's got a full head of hair still, this one. Something I don't have. That's a full head of hair, not head. Just going to move this paper towel out of my way because it's causing me some issues. I've got a piece ready in case I was dry brushing. I'm hoping 14 zombies will be enough. I mean that I can, when I get to the 14th one, I'll be able to start painting the first one I did in the queue, because I'm only putting a very light coat, a very thin coat rather, sorry, of witch brew on as the skin, so plus it's been a while since I've actually painted these particular sculpts for the zombies. The first ones I did were way back in the 2020 era, and my painting skills have obviously changed since then, so it's not taken me very long at all to get these first 7 done. Probably less than 10 minutes. That was just through using an old makeup brush and stippling on the colour I chose for skin on these corpses. I played last night on Earth more often, but it's been difficult to organise gaming nights. Hopefully we will get back into the swing of it. Folks, in case you are watching, just be mindful that on the bottom of my About page there is a link to an organisation called the Essential Tremor Foundation. They are set up to help people like me who are diagnosed with the condition. There is no cure, and they are a charity organisation that are designed to help fund research into the condition and hopefully find a cure one day. Right now the condition can be managed through medication and lifestyle changes, such as avoiding stress, which is partly why I paint minis. But when my tremor is playing up, it can be very difficult to paint these miniatures. So, yeah, it'd be very nice to be able to wake up one day with a phone call from the doctor who says there's a cure available now, we've tested it, it's all sorted, let's get you sorted out. So if you're in a position where you're able to consider a donation, please do so, and if you're in the UK, please consider marking the donation as gift aid. because it means that the charity will get a little bit more for their buck. It's a lovely shade of green from these zombies. I was thinking about going with powder blue type zombies for like the zombies out of Dawn of the Dead, way back in sort of the 1970s era. But I decided it would look too out of place on in this particular edition of a zombie game. Let's just get a little bit more there. These guys have detail, but it's just enough. Nothing too much. Oh, excuse me, I've got a burp coming up. Excuse me. Oh dear me. I have been suffering quite a bit today. That's thanks to the new medication causing a bit of a stomach upset. Now I can tell one thing already from my changing in the standards over time is I can pick up more detail on the chest now more easily. Whereas my older paint jobs, it was a rather thick coat and I lost the details. So, but the thing is, I'm not wanting to go back over to my own miniatures. It's like, I want to knock this thing on the head because it's been a fun journey, but it's also been a long journey. I first started painting these all up back in sort of 2020 when a certain event was going on. The less said about that the better. But yeah, took me since then to finish the collection because I've got the 10-year anniversary of Last Night on Earth, and from there it was a case of it kept going, and I got all the missing bits, and I have a full collection since I was gifted the Grave Dead with weapons for my birthday. So once I get these done, I can put that game to one side and focus on some other games. I've got minis for. I also have some miniatures from the Aliens franchise. I've still got one more set to pick up. That witchbrew got in everywhere in that brush. So make sure I clean the brush thoroughly. much as it's a cheap brush, I don't want to keep forking out for new brushes all the time. I am on a bit of a tight budget. I also don't know if this will be a long stream or a short stream today, folks, so all I know is that I am streaming for 8-bit. Right, okay, take a look at that. That looks proper slimy, doesn't it? Get that and a few dioramas for slimes. Okay. Oh, my shoulder is giving me absolute grief at the moment. Right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm just getting some terrestrial titan ready, and it's kind of a deep purple, almost with a little tint of grey. And we're going to use that to paint the trousers on all these zombies. I'm just going to get this paper towel out of there because it is actually causing problems. I thought I was going to be dry brushing, so that's why I had it handy. Good bit of water. Right, let's get back to the first team, and good news is the paint was put on thin enough that it is pretty much dry already. Just need to sort these guys out into order. So like I said, the objective here is a bit of a speed paint type deal, so I'm not going to worry too much about the details on the bottom of the jacket because I will be painting over the terrestrial titan when I get the jackets done. Now I've used sort of some bright colours on the other zombie groupings, and they're usually identified with their groupings through their jacket colours in my paint schemes. So the deal here is I'll be using a couple of darker colours. Objective at this exact moment is to paint all their slacks. There we go, there's one done. That overhead shot's not very good, folks, is it? Let's shift it out a little bit. Let's see what I can do here. Really shift it further than that. I have knocked the camera head about a little bit. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, I think that's about what I can do. You guys can still see everything. So we will crack on. Don't be afraid to let me know if there's any audio issues, by the way. And of course, I wasn't streaming yesterday because I had a D&D session to join, and that was a very good giggle and a laugh, considering we haven't been able to play for a month due to players' commitments and life events. So the dice had been busy storing up a lot of high rolls for us, which was quite nice. It was quite nice up until the point I came to roll my initiative and I scored a 1. Because my modifier is a -1, and unfortunately I rolled a 2. Hopefully I can get that adjusted later in the game. But right now it suits my character, so... I know I got a little bit on the feet there, but that's not too bad. Could be a little bit of torn trousers or whatever. This brush is starting to show signs. It's getting worn down. Got stray hair on this one. Apologies if you can hear a thud just then. Unfortunately, my room is right next to the bathroom. And despite repeated tellings, someone doesn't give a damn about how they come up off the toilet seat. And they keep breaking it even further. I've been told to stop because we can't afford extra replacements right now. Sorry if you heard that belch. It has been bothering me all day, and before anybody asks, yes, I have taken some indigestion remedy. It's nice to get back to doing some speed painting. It's been quite a while. Unfortunately, as much as I'd like to be able to do it on the Colonial Marines miniatures I have, I don't think that will work too well because I've got to do all the detailing for the camo and whatnot. As Adam Savage calls them when he did his Colonial Marine armour, the sausages. I'm not too fussed if there's still little bits of grey showing on these because it'll just match in with the skin tone quite easily. And I'll be putting a toner over the top of this. once they're all at that stage. That will be pretty much the final stage before primer. So if we do get to that point, folks, I think that will be the end of the stream. But it does depend on if my arm will last. Right, so that's one particular team done. Just stretch my neck a little bit. Oh. One thing that I will be doing, just to make these a little bit different, is I've got some little, there you are, some little resin skulls to pop on some of the bases. So I've got to paint them up in skeleton bone colour. I'll be taking a little bit more indigestion remedy before I go to bed tonight. Obviously something I ate on Sunday did not agree with me, and it's been bothering me all day as a result. I am going to have to get a better stand for this because it's wobbling about and I've not even had it all, like 2 weeks, I think. I might look into some mountable clips or something like that. Speaking of future streams, I think what's going to happen is this Sunday I'm not going to be painting miniatures. I will be playing a video game of Subdescript instead. So you'd all be welcome to join me on that one, of course. I just don't know what I'm going to be playing as a result. I haven't picked up Hades in a bit. I need to kind of push on with that. There we go. Good colour for trousers, this. The thing is, once I get the toner on it, it will be a darker colour, so it'll become more sort of a blackish purple, I would think. But it will reflect the fact that these guys have probably climbed up out of their graves through 6 feet of dirt. Place that down properly there. There we go. Oh, my neck is really bothering me tonight. I think there might be an early finish to the stream. I'm not gonna lie. And just have a run myself a hot bath. Why do I keep putting it off to the side? I really must. I swear I'll get used to painting on camera one of these days. Saying that, this is only my second stream, so. Painting these particular sculpts of miniatures, these ones always remind me of the Hunters from the Left 4 Dead series. If I park that one there, you just kind of you kind of got the hoodie and the pose just sort of ready to leap. So that's what I get for that one. You there. There we go. And this is the last one. We need to put some slacks on. Apologies for my hand getting in the way. I know it does block a bit of light, but I can't get any more equipment to assist at this moment in time. I think you could help. You might be able to find things on my throne wish list, !throne, if you do want to check that out. Right, I think that's the last pair of slacks painted. Okay. Right. Turn the brush off. Bit of soap on that. Put this rag in for the wash once I go to bed. I've got a washing run to do tomorrow, so get that done first thing in the morning. Oh, I am definitely going to need a hot bath or a shower or something. Okay. So I'm going to swap to a couple of different brushes now, because we're going to start looking at painting the jackets on these guys. So I'm just going to put the second grouping ensembles off here. I'm just going to show you, if you can kind of see, these ones have a green base. These guys have a brown base, so it kind of shows the two squads of zombies, but of course I've painted all over that with the primer, so I need to do something to give an alternate indicator. So what I tend to do is I'll paint the jacket and the base in their respective colour, and I think in this case we're going to go with deep grey for one squad, so that's the deep grey, and the other one will be a brown, which should show up some nice little details for weathering and so on, but we're going to put the brown back for now. Just give this bottle a good shake. It's not easy shaking the paints these days for me because I can't do it with my right arm anymore. It's just too much. I do have a paint shaker, but it's dreadfully noisy, and it's also not plugged in right now because I need to get an extension cord or hack it so I can do something with the cord length. Okay, so let's. Oh, hello. Where are you? I missed this guy's chest completely, and you're the first one I did. Actually, saying that, he doesn't have his chest exposed at all. It's just a t-shirt on under there. Let's check the other team. Yeah, okay, so that is right. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah. See how easy it is to throw yourself off? Right, let's get the jacket done. Actually, no, we won't get the jacket done first. We'll get these guys' t-shirts done first, because if I go over the borders with the t-shirts and the shirts, then it's going to be easier for me to correct later on. So, what shall we have for a shirt colour? Oh, I think that looks nice. We'll go with a bit of Gorgon hide. That will show up blood splatters and weathering quite nicely. That's from the old War Paints range of Army Painter, so unfortunately, since they're no longer producing this colour in that particular range, you'd have to look for it in the new Fanatic range, which I don't know if they do off the top of my head. You'll have to go check that out for yourselves. Let's just get these guys' shirts done pretty darn quick. You see my trimmer sort of playing up there, which is exactly why I tend to do things in a certain order. Because if I go over the edges, as I have done slightly here in a couple of spots, it's easier for me to correct a little later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put him to the last of the queue. I think we've got one more here. Yep. And we're going to try and do the same if my handle's reasonably steady. There we go. So if I put them to the last mini to be painted in each grouping, that will give me some time to allow them to dry. Yeah, you can see I've gone way over the edge with that one, but I can correct that when I paint the jacket, which will be a reasonably simple job. So I'll just pop you there, and you were towards the back anyway, so you kind of knew. What did you being a good zombie for? Yeah. Right. Okay. So there's the shirts on those zombies. Should be rather handy. Just try that particular brush off. There we go. I know I keep bumping the camera, folks, but I really can't help it, so please forgive me. Right, let's just shift these ones around a little bit. Give myself a bit of working room. Oh dear. Yeah, there's going to be a well-deserved soak in the tub later on. Right, now back to the original plan of painting the jackets on this particular grouping. Now this guy isn't wearing a shirt, he's actually got his chest exposed, so we are going to go ahead on these and paint the jacket. In the dark grey. I'm going to go through and do all the jackets first, and then I am going to sort out the bases. I do still need to pick out a colour for the hair on each team. Something that's quite a nice contrast. So if anybody's watching and you have a suggestion, don't be afraid to call out. Oh, I've got a little bit of grey on there. That's alright. I can go back and touch that up a little bit later on. Fortunately, this is the bit where I do get slowed down considerably. I'm just thinking here, I'm just trying to make a decision whether to keep the primer grey as the hair colour. Because it does actually give a nice contrast. The other reason why I'm not being too fussy about making the lines is these clothes are going to be ages old, they're going to be torn, they're going to be ripped. So again, I'm not too fussed. I think that'll do for that one. Okay. clunk. That's me colliding my brush with the top of the phone. So apologies if you heard that. And it was disturbing. I'm starting to pick up a bit of speed on painting these particular jackets now, so. Ay, ay, ay. My neck is being really stiff today and it's annoying me quite a lot. Where's my water? There we go. This is drinking water, by the way, folks, that I'm drinking, not the pink water. That's better. Unfortunately, I've been getting a little bit dehydrated with being unwell today. And a fight with a zombie on stream. I never thought that would happen. I am definitely going to have to sort something out about this stand for this camera right here, for this one, because it really annoys me how I keep wobbling it around. So I'll have to look into something at the beginning of the month. If I've got any budget left over from Christmas shopping. Excuse me. I think having had some dinner as well has helped settle my stomach, because it's got something to process now. I've gone a little bit too far on the arm on this one, but again I can go back and correct that. But saying that, it does look like an interesting variation. It looks like the sleeve somehow managed to stay intact on that also. Let's get that. Let me see. Three one of the other ones. I think that might actually stay. Nice little variation. Ah, the paint is dry already actually. Just noticed that. Jeez. Okay. So we've got a little bit less top area to paint here. We've got kind of a torn hood. Looks like a big baggy top really. might see that I've just clipped the hair a little bit on that one. Again, no biggie. Have we got a bit of a sleeve there? Yes, we do. It's been so long since I've painted these ones. There we go. Excuse me. I think I am definitely going to have a very hot soak in the bathtub once I am done with stream, because my neck is actually being very unhappy with me right now. I need to take my fleece off because I am beginning to overheat a little bit here. I had a fleece on most of the blooming day because I have been trying to keep warm and not be unwell. Ooh, come on. Oh, my Discord's just pinging out something. Nothing to worry about. Okay. Right, looks like the shirts are dry on these guys, so we are good to continue. I said I wanted to get these done on stream today, but I don't know if I'm going to manage it because my neck is being really unhappy with me. And also my stomach is still being a little bit of a nuisance, so I'll just see how it goes. Because I think I've been going for about an hour already. I'd like to be able to make it to 2. That's that one. A little splodge of grey in the hair there, but that already had a bit of green in it, so not too much to worry about there. I really need to get used. I need a mark or something like that down on the desk. Oh, I've just painted over his hand. I got distracted talking about a mark. That's alright, I'm sure we can paint it in. Once we get the touch-ups done. Sorry, not the touch-ups, the jackets. Because I do have to go back and do some of the other bits that escaped my attention on the brush. I didn't catch earlier when I put the skin colour on. Sleeve there. Some of the jacket. Lovely. Alright, now I'm going to wait for that grey to dry before I can do anything on the hand, so I'll put that to one side. I am going to have a quick stretch break, so I'm going to go BRB for like 5 to 10 minutes and just let my neck relax a little bit because it is complaining. So we'll just dry the brush off. That's dry the brush off, not dry brush. Two different things. So yeah, gonna go BRB, gonna have a stretch break. If you're watching, I suggest you do the same. And I'll see you back in about 5 to 10 minutes. See you then. Right, hello again everybody. Oh, I am suffering tonight, is one way of putting it. Right, having said that, I am going to try and just focus on finishing up the one squad of zombies here. We'll leave the other set for me to finish up off stream because I am very stiff. My muscles are screaming at me. I need to consider how long I can go for, and I think I can manage about another hour, so I think I should probably finish most base work, excluding all the detailing. On one set of zombies, so we will go that way about it. So we're just going to get the grouping colour on the base, like we normally do. Not so much the surface around the feet that I'm too worried about, it's the colour around the rim. I do paint around the feet for the sake of consistency, in case the basing material starts to peel away. I've got a great big gap in the trousers though, in the trouser leg there. Just shows you what poor lighting can do, and if you can't see anything. Let's just get that sorted quick. There we go. Just wash that brush off. Again, I'm not being too fussy about details here because I did miss about my jacket here. If it's all great big and obvious, then yeah, I'll touch it up, but otherwise it's a case of I'll need to adjust it. Again, I keep painting out the side of the camera, that's not much good. I need to remember to sort out that odd hand when I get to it at the end of the queue. Just to let you guys know as well, I do not normally stream on the Mondays. This is just a one-off thing I've decided to do. So I felt like streaming, and I felt like getting on some miniatures, so I thought I'd kick everything up and have a little session. There we go. It's nice that they're looking mostly complete just with the few basic colours I've already put on. Now, I won't always complete the miniatures in full on stream, just because I think that might be a little bit boring. If I do, then great, that's a bonus. I also have some other obligations that I need to be on top of. Make sure I am living well and surviving for the time being. And also getting ready for the bloody future, which looks a little bit grim at the moment in some places, but I don't want to go there. I just need to be ready. By the way, folks, I did pick up a copy of Betrayal at the House on the Hill. I managed to pick up a second-hand copy off of eBay in very good condition for about £15 plus postage. So I will hopefully get around to playing a few sessions of that in the future. A little bit. There we go. Now the reason I'm not being too detailed on the bases either is because usually I will flock the bases. I'll put basing material on them, and that will kind of give the appearance that the zombies' feet are kind of well embedded into the material, like a heavy footstep or soft ground. So it does hide a lot of crimes. And in case anybody comes along and watches these, whether they be on my YouTube channel or not, just please bear in mind I am a hobbyist painter, not a professional painter. So if you try and do something that I'm doing here, take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not promising any results. As they used to say on Art Attack, try it yourself and see. I'm hoping in the future I might be able to pick up a few resin models. I'd like to get a few more dragons in the collection. The one I've got at the moment, a silver dragon, is very lovely, but it's very fragile. I've already had to repair it several times. I need to find a display case for it actually. But that might be a New Year's thing when the sales are on. I do need to find like portrait frames and doodads like that for other bits and pieces as well. Right, so that's the basis done. Right, let's see, has your jacket dried, matey? Because then I can paint your hand. Yes, it has. Right, let's get your hand painted. Right, okay. The wet palette's not doing too well at the moment. Looks like the paints are drying up fairly quickish. That'll do. Right, let's put that there. Wash that off. Mind you, it does have a light shining down on it, which won't really help. Unfortunately, I need the light for you guys to see the miniatures. So, yeah. Let's just touch up that base a little bit more, because that's a great, yeah, there we go, that's a bit better. Alright. Now I need to get these guys' hair done, and whilst I was on the stretch break I spotted a nice colour that I quite often go to called Drake's Tooth. Hello Nutcat, good to see you. I've been yabbering here and not looking at the screen. How long have you been sat there for? With a bit of Drake Tooth. Not too long, just had food and realised people are streaming. Yeah. Oh, but these are the last of the zombies that I need to paint up. I mean, you can see from the overhead, duck my head out of the way. So I've got those 7 and I've got the 7 over here. Banana asks if you know of any good filler primers for painting 3D prints to help reduce the lines. Right. I'm going to recommend to you a channel called Leona's Workshop on YouTube. She has several videos, like tutorials on things like that, and Leona often works in 3D prints. They're often resin prints. She is a great laugh, and Panana will like Leona because Leona is a great big Sailor Moon fan. And yeah, there have been some wonderful Sailor Moon models painted up on there, so absolutely go for it. And Leona is an absolute laugh. She's a bit like you, Mad Cat, refers to children as crotch goblins. So yeah, highly recommend. And last model she painted was a Dante from the DMC series, and she absolutely ripped the shit out of the model designer for that one. So absolutely check out Leona's Workshop. Right, we're going to get on with painting the hair on the first batch here. How's your day gone, Mad Cat? This guy's got big long locks. For a Monday I survived. Could have done with a nice weather. Oh yeah, Sunday was absolutely freezing when I was on the way back from the venue. It was a shame you couldn't join us, but obviously I understand what was happening at the time. Claire's cat, so, yeah. The cat at our friend's place took an instant liking to me. That was it. Sniffed my hand, pawed at me to say, "Can I have strokes, please?" And then came up, looked me straight in the face, and then licked me in the centre of the forehead. It's like, yep, okay. But I think Claire is looking to reorganise the session 0, so. I think she said it might be about 2 weeks' time. You might want to check in with her. Yeah, I seem to have an affinity with feline species. Saying that, Mr. President Pringle appears to be a little bit hard of sight as well, so hence why he was rather straight up in my face. He's also a big chonker, so fair warning. Come on, hands, stop shaking. How's the knitting going, Banana? Hope that's all going well. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, he's got a proper mullet. I mean, this must be Pat Sharp as a zombie. Hasn't got the Funhouse anymore and has come back for a reboot series. It's going well, although she won't say that. We are all our own worst critics, aren't we? I quite like how this straight tooth is coming out for the hair colour. Oh, my stomach is finally beginning to settle down. The 80s called, they want the zombie back, yeah. Speaking of which, yeah, I've been a bit unwell. Something I ate yesterday, I think. I was up at about 4 AM with acid indigestion. So broke out the Gaviscon. And just rested. I've had my fleece on most of the day, even though the house has been like properly heated. Yeah, that's not the way it be sometimes. Thankfully it's been settling down. But that was it this afternoon. I just, from about 12:30 until about 3:30, I just had to go back to bed and just lay flat. Just look at the insides of the hair here. That'll do. I mean, these ones they always remind me of the hunters from Left 4 Dead. Because it looks like they've got the hoodie up and just the jump ready pose. Yeah. Oh, right. It's going to be strange to think that once I've done these, I will have done absolutely everything I can for the Last Night on Earth series. And brought all the little pieces to life. Or in the case of the zombies, back to life. You can always paint one up as a hover. You'll need a Lewis survivor with pills. Saying that, I do think I have somewhere on my hard drive from way back when, I have a download of somebody who released files of the hero survivor cards from Last Night on Earth, but they were all the Left 4 Dead characters. So it's just a case of sourcing suitable miniatures. So there's one for Bill, one for Zoe, you know. My finger is twitching on the base, which is not helping me. Looks like the zombie is having a bit of a spasm. There we go. I'm sure 3D files exist somewhere. It's the internet after all. The hardest part is finding models with clothing on. I know what kind of clothing models you like to go for, good sir, so yeah. You know what I mean. You know. By the way, have you let Fate out of her fish tank anytime recently? I'm sure the air's getting stale in there, you know? Okay, I think that's the head done on pretty much these guys. So let's just bring them, get the brush clean first, and then bring them up close for a little bit of a gander shot. No, she's not moved since I moved her down here. Oh, you're going to have to call it the cryogenic pod. Frozen in time. Right. Oh, come on, hand. Stop twitching. Right, so... Oh, come on. Get in shot, you lot. Let's let you have a look. Zoom the camera in a little bit. One of them doing a 360 spin. So yeah, there's the primary colour blocking done. Get some light over these guys. There we go. They look like there's a boy band. No, their careers are what come back to haunt us. Oh, I needed that water. Take that to took this. Oh, well played, well played. Oh, that's a good one. Use that as a player name in Zombies versus Plants. The plants are called Took This, and the zombies are called Took This. The plants are called Take That. Oh. Yeah, that was a good one, Dave. Well done. Oh, there's another one for the name counter. I'll get used to it one day, I swear. Right. So, that's going to be the grey grouping of zombies. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the other 7 as they are. I'm going to get the strong tone ready to put on these guys. What else am I going to do whilst they... yes, of course, I've got the skulls. I'm going to put them on the bases. Right. So I've actually got some tiny resin skulls here. Right, pick out those 3. I managed to pick these up off of eBay a little while ago. As you can see, they are very tiny, but they are about the right size to go on the bases, so a few of them for decoration would be quite good. So I'm just going to pop them there. Right, now, do I want to do the tone now, or do I want to wait? I'll wait on the tone. We're going to do some effects next, actually. We'll get them ready. So, what do you reckon, Dave? Shall we do some oil stain? Ding ding. What do you reckon, Madcap? Oil stains, some blood, some mud, or some oozing vomit, or some disgusting slime? What effects should we go with next? I'm just going to move the other 7 out of the way. Slime and blood, we can do that. Right, so give Banana a little glance at my at the disgusting slime we have here. A lovely neon green type deal. And I only just found out about this a couple of days ago. But if I can pull out something from my tools, it is UV reactive. So we can have glow in the dark footprints and all that. So in the meantime, once I get the slime ready, I actually have two choices of blood. We have the glistening blood, which is more of a fresh type thing, or dry blood. There we go. Just pop that there. Pop them to the side whilst I wait on a response from the Mad Cat. So let's have some slime. Let's think a bit down the trousers here, going down the footies. I can paint this on a little bit thick to actually be effective. Oh, I appear to have got a little bit on my finger, but it's kind of added to the base a little bit. I've just realised I can't actually paint the base because I'm going to be putting basing material on there. Never mind. So we'll just put little dabs here on there on the clothing for these guys. Maybe a little bit across the chest. That looks quite fun. Right. If I get that one next, because I don't want to be chopping and changing between certain things. So across the hand there, like that. Just a little bit on the face. There we go. Oops. That's what happens when the tremor starts playing up. The zombies start to come to life and have a little nibble at my fingers, which is not what I like. Come here. Let's have some feet. A little bit across the hands. A bit like putrid flesh coming off. There we go. I've just realised I've missed one. This is what happens when you get your zombies out of order. There's some areas on the jacket here, but that could work quite nicely for the sliding to be coming out of. So I can take advantage of that actually. Lovely. Just do a bit of that. And I think a little bit on the back of the jacket here because yeah, I've got some nice little recesses for it all to sit in. Beautiful. I'll grab you. A little bit toward the face, lovely. A little on the face here. There we go. What I'll do is once I've got the basic materials on, I'll put some more disgusting slime on for good measure. Because unfortunately once I get the basic materials on, it will pretty much be a halt for what I can do in stream, because I've got to wait for the glue to dry. Okay, so that's the first round of disgusting slime on. Basic material, I've actually got some it's almost like a ballast. Let me just pull out that thing. It is exposed scatter brown, so nothing amazing. You can kind of see it's a very dark gravel. It's come up really well. Have you thought of making a photo diorama, something you can pop the models on for pics or display? I am working on something, and it's actually also able to tie in with the Last Night from Earth stuff, because one of the expansions I have adds 2 sewers to the game board if you pull out the right cards, and so I'm making 2 little sewer pieces that can be used for gameplay, but they can also be used for like scenic purposes. And I've kind of done something where I've been able to work using a water effect and mixing it up with some of my metallic paints like this one, so it looks like the kind of a residual funk, or residual gunk, and it will look nice, but I've got to get a couple of pieces for it, and unfortunately I'm a little bit tight on the funds right now, so I've got to wait for it a little bit, because I do need to get like a ladder piece and sort that out, so yeah, we'll get there. Okay, time for some blood, I think. Oh, actually, whilst I'm thinking about it, I do have a couple of minis set up here with basic materials on. So I'll just pull these out. And if I can fight with my camera here, just give you a little close up. You can kind of see there's a little bit of the slime on that one. There's also some wet mud paint. I've also used some of the Tamiya weathering effects on this one, which was the mud effect. There's also some blood on some of these as well. Nothing particularly fancy with these bases, they're all just sort of done very much on the fly. He says, wobbling the camera around. So it looks like they've kind of just climbed up. There we go. Right. I've got to get the camera back in position now. Come on. You've got you've got grass tufts. That sounds like a nasty medical condition. See the doctor about that, eh? Yeah, these are already done. They're just waiting on a final coat of varnish, and that's something else I am going to have to pick up, because the only can I've got is running low. Because after painting all the grave deads with weapons minis, I pretty much used the whole can up, so I haven't got much at hand. Right, okay Dave, dry or glistening? Which one first? Glistening. Oh, you want some fresh blood. Okay, fresh blood it is. Just get the arm out of the way. It'll pop better on zombies, I think. I've been using a bit of a mix on some of the others, and I think that's also worked quite well, because you know, it could be that they've snacked on previous survivors and then they've gone looking for other prey. Right. My own throne alert message throwing me off there. I thought that was somebody new in the chat, so yeah, right. Right, let's bring these all into shot again. I'm glad I didn't pay out more than £3 for this stand for the phone, because it's rubbish. And this stain is from my previous meal. She was called Susan. There we go. What the fuck, is it still here? No, I put it back in the other room. Never mind. Right, let's make a start and get some. Oh, actually, I won't use a brush on this one. What could I use? Let's use a little cocktail stick, I think. Just that should be fairly nice. So yeah, just use a little cocktail stick, dip it in the glistening blood, and we'll do some nice little splotches and splotches. Let's get some up here by the mouth. I think a little bit on the fingers here. There we go. And we'll get some on the clothing. Behave. It's difficult keeping zombies under control, I'm sure you know what I mean. I need to top up his grey on this. I've gone a little bit too far there. Let me just sort that out a minute whilst it's fresh in my brain. There we go. Quick repair. They can be a bit unruly, they look dead boring, but oh, life of the party. Oh. But shh. Your usual standard then. Okay, I think that's enough on that one. Pop you at the back here. I keep painting off to the side of the camera. I've got to get a mark on my desk or something like that, because the lens is here. It's at the top end of my phone, but I see the whole phone and I think that it's like up here, the middle of the phone. So, yeah, throws me off. Some red around the face, lovely. Ooh. Maybe once we get the basic materials down, I'll do some dry blood on the ground here. Ooh, that's coming out quite nice, picking up there, lovely. We'll go with that. Let me catch up. That's my phone going. Oh, I should mute that, because if somebody rings me now, I'm going to get a copyright strike. Come here. So let's. Okay. There we go. Right. I do not want a copyright strike because of my ringtone. I like that. In a bloodbath. Lovely. Come on, come on. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Again, I'm painting off the side of the camera. I need to figure out doing some channel point redeems in the future once I get to that stage. But I don't think they're enabled for me yet. That's looking good. It's kind of what I like about painting with a cocktail stick, because it does force some of the details to come out. For things like blood. And plus it also helps with making things a little bit irregular. Check my palette in a minute. I'm a little bit concerned. I've just poked through with the cocktail stick. Also running out of glistening blood here, but considering I'm on the last zomble of this bunch, it's helping make some nice stains. Cocktail sticks are quite a handy painting tool for effects, yeah, absolutely. And they are amazingly cheap as well. Didn't you do the lightning on your mechs cocktail sticks? Yeah, I poked a hole in my wet palette. I'm going to have to change the sheet out when I'm done. Okay, I think that's about the best I'm going to get with that. Yeah, force of habit, I'm about to put the cocktail stick in my pot of water to wash it off like a normal brush. Got a little pot to put the expired thing in. Okay, right. I think it's time to put some basing material on these 7. So once I've done that, I will see about painting the skulls. Oh, whilst I remember, don't get to use cocktail sticks all that often, but I did when I had some fine lining to do. Yeah, it's an absolute thing. By the way, I don't know if you've seen these, Dave, Cat, but yeah, I've been using some of these. You know, you've got a decent view on the top down. I'm using some of these for weathering. You have one of those. Well, as you can see, I've got 5. But yeah, they've been well worth it. Although I don't use this piddly thing in the palette. You know. Oh, hang on. Just clear out the debris. Ooh, come here. Get back in your box. Thank you. But I do plan to get the other remaining ones of those. But I just got these to apply the stuff with. It says forking out whatever it is Tamiya wants with just one of those brushes. Right, where did I put that basic material? There it is. Right, a little cap over dark stuff. Over to that side. Right. Get in shot, you lot. You're terrible to direct. Yeesh. Never work with children, animals, and zombies. Better that than using the foam from my travel boxes. Plot pack stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean. Right, PVA glue. Nice bottle of that. And where did my other things go? There they are. Right. Sorry about the loud snaps. But when I do the basic materials on minis, I don't know, at least animals are cute and zombies are cute, you can kill. Children you're stuck with unless... Oh, I'm not saying that out loud on stream. Yeah. Pop a little bit in there. Right. Now, before the questionable remark came up on the stream, I was going to say I tend to apply PVA glue to mini bases using disposable lipstick applicators because it makes sure that the glue goes on fairly thin and it dries fairly quick. So that's why I go with that. Put that out of the way. So this is where I just do, I slow down and I just do one mini at a time. I'm not going to be doing the rims on these, I just want the base because I want the coloured rim to be visible still. There we go. That looks well. Don't worry, I slapped his shoulder for you. Well done. Thank you. Hey, that's not on Twitch. Let's not have that on Twitch. Twitch, for legal reasons, that is a joke. But Mad Cat, I don't think because this only happened sort of yesterday evening during the other D&D game. I have been booked to go and look after Tabitha again, sort of mid-December. So I'll be looking after that lovely little fuzzball. I'm worried. Just typing in novel on film. Back to your earlier feedback. I love Leona's work. I think she's a bit obnoxious sometimes, but she mostly works with big resin stuff, and we have some small plastic 3D hamsters to paint. Yeah, she can be, but if you watch some of her other videos, I think she's acknowledging of it, but she also has no filter. The techniques and things that she does, you can pick up quite easily from her videos. So it does. That's why I like to recommend her. It's just a case of being able to scale the work. But she shows one thing, and that she enjoys doing her painting and the process of creating these miniatures. I think at the moment she's working on Virgil from the Devil May Cry series. Her last piece was Dante from the same series. But she does have an absolute laugh doing her videos. There's one that I'm thinking of. I think it's called well, I say miniature. It's a model, more like an absolute proper statue. It's the Sailor Moon Crystal Therapy Kiss video, and she has an absolute disaster with it during one part with the bass, and it was an absolute crying shame that what happened to her, because it was a genuine accident, and you could see she was really downtrodden and disheartened, but she picked it up and absolutely recovered. I mean, I'm not sure I'm ready to do a kit as big as that, but I have done a small piece that's been a resin miniature. I'll go and fetch it in a minute once I've got this last zombie based up. There we go. I may have purchased some big resin kits to work on, secondary ones, but because I really dislike all the official figures. You see, that's where you and the owner have the same opinion on that. Right, I'm just going to grab this figure I mentioned. Get my headphones back on. But let me zoom the camera out a touch. Okay, I'm going to have to lift the camera up a touch. There you go. So yeah, this is my first resin figure, this dragon. This was a gift to me from a good friend of mine last Christmas. And it took a little bit of work to get it together. Let me just get some light over the top there. Yeah. So the idea was that my character was going to have some involvement with the Silver Dragon in the D&D game that I'm part of, and so I showed it to the DM, and that's where we are working from at this point. Now, unfortunately, the bad news is it has had a couple of flights already and has been damaged. If I show you here, I'll bring this up close. This is where it broke, this rock. A blue-eyed silver dragon. There's no Yu-Gi-Oh in this one, thankfully. But yeah, right here, that's kind of like the primary fixing point for the dragon to the base, and it absolutely broke. So I had to get a metal pin it together, but then I also had to use green stuff to sculpt a new rock piece into place and sort of hide the pin and give it a stronger connection. And I'll be honest, I don't think you can actually see where the green stuff putty has extended the rock, or the fact that the rock has been extended in itself. So really pleased with my repair job on that. So yeah, hopefully I can get some. If they're about this size, I'd be quite happy to keep going with that, so just build up my experience a bit more. So yeah, very happy with that. Good. So yeah, that was my first time proper using green stuff putty to make a repair. I'm just going to make sure that's in from the edge and that it doesn't take another flight. I'm looking for a display case for that actually. So not a great big fish tank like Fate Madcap. So yeah. Right, I think it'd be a good time for me to have a little before and after comparison here with the 7 minis that I've done compared to the ones that are on standby. So yeah, just some trying to adjust the lighting like a fucking studio. Well, it is a studio, you plonker. There we go, that's what I'm trying to get. So, obviously this guy has got a grey theme to him because he's got grey base and grey jacket. I'm going to do that tan colour as the theme on these guys. So you'll have a tan jacket and a tan base, but the basing material will still be the same. So I guess it would kind of look like he's walking around in mud, maybe. Right. So I can't do too much more with the grey zombies at the minute because I've got to let the glue dry on them, and then I've got to put a seal layer on the basic material. So that'll be PVA, water, and a drop of washing up liquid. I'm just going to pop that one back there. You can have blonde hair when Gordon solve puzzles. Oh, crikey. Now that's a flashbang and a flashback at the same time. Good lord, Madcap. Oh. You see, you shocked me into saying the wrong name there. Right. Okay, I need to paint these skulls. Let's get a thicker brush, because these skulls will take moments to paint up. Let's use one of these little sticks. Okay. In case anybody is wondering, these particular sticks, I nicked them out of the KFC. So that's where you get hold of them from. After all the dips they've shortchanged me on, I figured they owed me some. KFC. Yeah, if I wasn't trying to lose more weight, I would be tempted to have some as part of a unusual little ritual I have around Christmas time, but it won't be happening this year because I need to shift a bit of weight. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to tell KFC to cluck off. That's cluck, before anybody mishears. It's okay, I'll have your share. Go for it. Right, that's then fixed on there. Right, that one's the skeleton bone, so I'm going to cover that. And get most of the excess off. That's me completely missing and going for the cutting mat instead. it's starting to dry up on the wet palette. I will have to change that out when I use stream tonight. Come on, in the eye sockets. Thank you. Ah, that's a bit of a shame. You can see the little, cut lines. Oh well, mind you, they're going to be that buried in basic material. Nobody will probably see them, so that's not too bad. Okay, so we'll just let that dry, and we'll do the other side of them a little bit later. Right, there is that. Oh, I need a stretch. Let's put some of this stuff back in its boxes because it's getting a little bit cluttered on the desk here. Just whilst I'm thinking about it, I also picked up these little. I think you're better off seeing them from. Oh, no, that's alright. If I pull them out on the deck there, you might see them. Picked up those little jewel stones whilst I was in Wilkinson's, so I think they'd be good for little D&D terrain bits. The crystal of whatever. Or, as is tradition for a revivify spell, so they need X amount of diamonds. Do they give you any time in the dome? Sadly, not these ones. But the ones you can pick up in the dome, you can actually pick up. Unlike these ones, because I've just dropped one already. Right, okay. But yeah, I'm always keeping an eye out for little bits and pieces like that now. Okay, let's bring you lot over there, close you up. Where's my, there it is. Just get the excess flock back in the bag before this fan blows everything all over the place. There we go. Have you made any progress on your minis, Cat? Some of the air into this. Apologies for the impromptu ASMR there. And whilst I'm thinking about it, I'll just pull these out because. Sorry, I didn't catch that. It was mid-snuggle with. If I could do an emoji react right now, I would. Okay. But yeah, I was saying, have you done any? Have you made any progress on your minis and mechs? You can sit over there. You can go over there. Need decent weather to prime the Valheim ones? Yeah, I know that. And to have spoons for, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I hear you on that one. Why has my model suddenly stopped responding? Have you, is it my glasses that you've taken offence to, PC face? Come on. Right. Let's try and blink. No, are you having a fit? No, it's had a fit. Looks like I'll be standing still for the rest of the stream. Probably lost connection with the camera or whatever. That's a bit of a shame. Something to work on. Oh, hang on. It was the magnifying glass. My Instagram is kicking off. Oh, there we go. But yeah, whilst I have an opportunity, I'll let you see these, Mad Cat. So I have Newton, Ripley and Burke all done. It's just the rest of the Marines I need to do. So I thought these would be good for when I finally get off my arse and learn how to run an Alien RPG thing. I could have done with them against Lucy. Yeah, you could have. Mind you, I have plenty of Lucy's in a nice little container. I could always reintroduce you. But there's actually another set that I want, and they're on my throne wish list. But it's got Ripley in the power loader, and it's got two versions of Bishop, which is him prior to feeling half the man he was, and him with the upper torso of him. But yeah, hopefully I will get on to finishing these off, because they are a little bit more complex. You can't paint them as easily. So just pop them out of the way there. Lovely. Right. Okay. So I think what I'll do now, where are we time-wise? 9:15. Right, I think what I will do is I will call it here for stream. Obviously I'm waiting on glue to dry. I don't want to start the other 7 minutes just because it's that late in the evening. I'll finish these last 7 off stream, and obviously pictures will be uploaded to the Instagram, which is linked in my about page or about tab below the video feed. If you're too lazy, then get up your bum and scroll down the page. It's that much, you just need to scroll a wheel. So yeah, they are rapidly on their way to being finished. What I will need to do is add some of these. Come on, you focus in. Thank you. Right, so we'll be adding these to the effects that they have. And maybe a bit of dry blood and some oil stains and some of the Tamiya powders that I already mentioned. So will I do them on Sunday? I don't know. I kind of want to do a game on Sunday. So yeah, again, I'll finish these up off stream, I think. But it's been a long but fun journey with the Last Night on Earth stuff. What we need now is a gaming session to actually see them on the board chasing some survivors down. But yes, let's flick over onto the other screen. Whee! Fancy effect. I pay for it. I'm going to get as much use of it, as much use of it for my money as possible. So I pay for it, damn it. Okay, so yeah, there will be a stream this Sunday. I'll be streaming from about 12 noon. I don't know how long I will go for. There might be a little bit of mini painting, but again, like I said just now, I primarily want to go for a video game and play some of that. So I've been having a little bit of a hankering for Hades, the first one, because I haven't played that in a little while. And yeah, do some hacky slashy type stuff. So yeah, thank you for coming in and watching. If you haven't already done so, please hit follow as I begin the journey on Twitch. The more followers, the better, because obviously I need to prove that I'm getting somewhere on Twitch, and Twitch likes follower numbers. So yeah, we will go through it from that way. Otherwise, I will not be doing a raid at this time. I just want to focus on getting used to running streams, and then we'll add some fun stuff later on. So thank you for watching, everybody. Mad Cat we will have to absolutely organise a gaming night one night. So yeah, I'm not sure, because obviously New Year's Eve is coming up. I know you've got your anniversary. I don't know if you will be busy with that or otherwise. So yeah, maybe something in the new year. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. Alright folks, I am going to try and reach over and press some buttons now. Cool. Take care of yourself, my dude. I will, Panana. And we'll work on plans. Toodles. Toodles indeed. Take care, everyone, and see you on Sunday at 12 noon for whatever I decide to do then. Bye!